Kainga Ora, the country's biggest social housing landlord, on notice from the government.
We've not been satisfied with the performance of Kianga Ora in managing its finances and its assets.
An independent review led by former Prime Minister Sir Bill English has delivered a scathing report saying the performance of Kainga Ora is deteriorating. Kainga Ora is not financially viable, it is not delivering the homes and support people need, and cites a lack of transparency and accountability, limited attention to value for money, and a poor understanding of tenant outcome.
Now, some of those sentences, Chewy and Kieran, probably the most frightening is Kainga Ora is not financially viable. When I hear that, I think Kainga Ora provides a service primarily. And I know it's on a different scale, but it feels a bit like saying libraries, yeah, right, libraries aren't financially viable. It seems to be something that's more of a service than not. And if it's not financially viable, what is this government then going to do with it? Seem to be focused so much on the bottom line. We're going to keep going as well, Kieran, but would you like to speak to that before we go?
Yeah, that line stood out for me too. And what was really front of mind was the bloke that ran this review was finance minister for 9 years when that government extracted a dividend from Housing New Zealand. So, I think that's the lens by which they're looking at this. We don't see Kainga Ora or the provision of social houses as an opportunity to extract revenue for the government. We see it as a platform to build houses for Kiwi whānau. It's as simple as that. And that's the fundamental ideological difference between National and Labour, or the right and the left.
Yeah, and there as well, the second line from the bottom, limited attention to value for money. That smacks of, I want a return on my investment. I want to see a financial dividend to the investment that the country is making, which kind of speaks to what you're saying, I think, a little bit, Kieran.
Yeah, it does. I do want to say one thing, though, is that, of course, we should ensure that money that's spent is value for money. But I was going to speak to this later, but further on in this clip, Mikey Sherman mentions that it's cheaper for community housing providers to build houses. That's actually inaccurate. Is Kainga Ora builds houses cheaper per square metre than community housing providers. So there's your value for money. So I reckon we should just strike a line through that one.